All right, I have returned, and we got the work from last week's stream finally merged in once we got those navigation region issues resolved. Let's see. We got some old PRs here that I'm going to ignore for now. And we are going to go back to VS Code, switch back to the main branch, and pull down those changes. All right. We got, yeah, sure, I'll go ahead and restart. Let's go back here, reload from disk, and stop the game. Apparently it's been running. I was wondering. Anyway, so what now? What now? I'm of two minds on this. So one, we could work on some bugs. Or we could mess around in Blender some more. Do some 3D modeling. And do all that. We could, I mean, I have we have 17 open issues here. Some of these are sort of like, oh, that would be cool sorts of things, or whatnot. We've not done any kind of enemy variation, so we just have the one zombie. It, does damage to an adjacent thing and tries to get to the target, the survivors. We could add more survivors. We could carry on kind of our ability to have multiple levels. Right? So right now we have the single level here that has a spawner, and the spawner can have waves, right? So we can have a single place where the zombies will spawn from, and we can have like different timings on these as well. There we go. Right, so I've made it so that you can say, okay, the wave lasts for this long. There might be a delay before the wave starts. Here's how many enemies can spawn. Those sorts of things, right? And then we can pick what kind of enemies and how many of them. All sorts of configuration here to make it kind of interesting how things evolve, right? And we can make different levels with different kinds of zombies, and they spawn faster and in larger packs. Is pack the right word? Horde? Anyway, so we can do all sorts of things like that on a level, and we can have various terrain. And this is where we like get into Blender and maybe do some, some scenery. Like, I remember. So when we rated out last week, I remember Settlix asking like what the stream was about, and I said I made some grass, and it's like, yeah, it's a it's a mesh that's tinted green, right? We could do more in that regard, or put some trees down. I think one of the things for like concept art, if you will, for how we wanted to evolve the game, of like what the progression of levels would look like, would be something like, excuse all my scrolling, it's back up here, and excuse the nonsense of this image, right? But different kind of survival scenarios in a zombie apocalypse, with different numbers of survivors that you're trying to protect. And I think the broad idea is that we'll have different levels where the circumstances will be different. So like early on it will be just like we're defending a single survivor, which hard to see. There he is, our single survivor here that we're trying to protect. And the idea is the survivors do nothing. At best, they might have like a region that they are in that they will kind of try to run and like cower from the zombies, but they don't fight back. It's not that kind of game. But where, you know, the player is charged with trying to build defenses or just like hold off the zombies, right? So this is, I guess one of the things that I need to figure out is what is the scale. Like, this is probably the wrong scale, especially for level 1. Like, probably the scale that we want is honestly something that's like this big. Maybe. I think the other thing we could do is I have multiples of these tabs. Okay, so how about a let me double check that I don't have an issue for this already. Player tag, fix minimap. Yeah, I used AI to make a minimap, but it was broken. So we'll work on that at some point, because it would be cool to have a minimap instead of just like the little indicator that there's an enemy off screen. We should probably also let's fix camera controls when camera is rotated. There's an issue right now, right? So if you rotate the camera perspective, then the controls don't work because they're all built around the original rotation of the camera. But anyway, what was it saying though? Oh yeah. So define the let us define the buildable area of a level. Right? So currently when you're in the game, you can build anywhere where there is ground, I think is the thing. Let's test this really quick. What if we go way out here to where there's not even any ground? Okay, cool. So we can't build out of that, but we probably want to have the ability to have terrain and not be able to build there. Yeah, that probably is not gonna work. All right, what are you gonna do now, zombie? Oh. What are you gonna do now, zombie? Oh. He's gonna break the wall, right? Except it's bugged. It's gonna do 20, 10, 0, oops, and then... Oh, he found a way out. Alright, well anyway. I'm great at this game that I've made. Okay, so there were some tabs that I had open here. So I think... I was thinking good things to do on stream. Player attack effects. Do we want to do player attack effects or add key binding settings UI? I mean, I think the controls are fine, you know, for my, you know, WARS controls. Others may disagree. I don't know. We've done this on stream, right? We have this in the template project, so I don't know about doing that again. Get some water though. All right, so player attack effects. So player is us, you know, where we are able to click zombies to attack them. So yes, So there is a little bit of that going on right now. So like if we go back into the game and we go over to where the zombie is, one of the things we can do is pause the game and navigate to where we want to go. Isn't that nice? But if we unpause the game, we can click the zombie, and it's maybe a little subtle because we're moving the camera at the same time. But the zombie shakes when you hit him. Okay, so we're gonna get into the zombie here in a second. Yeah, there you go. It's easier to see if I'm not panning the camera at the same time. But they have a little shimmy, like, oof, I've been poked. Anyway. So, sure, and that could be bigger. The issue is that if you do that and they're like trapped somewhere, like you can have things where they're like, if it's too big of a motion, weird things can happen. And we're just gonna ignore the fact that they like T-pose run wherever they go. We'll fix that at some point, or whatever. Anyway, but I think the thing that I was thinking here is that we could definitely show some things where, like change the cursor. I hope we can do that, and we can add a sound effect. So those will be fun things to do, right? And I think those are things that, how are we going to do this? So not how do we change the cursor? How do we play the sound effect? We can figure those things out. But where in the game do we hook on? Like where does the code live to do that? So we have this attack component, which it exists as a scene. I guess it doesn't have to. We could have done this differently. But the idea is there's this script, right? And this script has, it's just a, attack class, extends node, and there's a timer and there's a damage amount. So these are our exports that we can customize every time we use this. We can set damage amount and damage cooldown. So essentially you're setting DPS, right? By tweaking these. What is that? Is that sound in the stream? Did you hear that? There's kind of like a little crackling sound there for like 20-30 seconds. Might be that might be on my end. I don't know. We'll see. What was I saying? So then we have some kind of internal state of like what's going on with the attack. We have a perform attack function that handles like what we're doing and interacts with the health component and those sorts of things. So when it comes to like a sound effect, I think it probably would make sense for the attack component to own that, because all of the things, so that the enemies, so the zombies and the player both use this class, this node, to do attacks. Right, so if we go over here and look at an enemy, it also has this attack node. So we'll just add a, this shouldn't be unknown, this should be something, maybe. I don't know, are we... When we are on ready, do we change this at all? Enemy type. Interesting. Interesting. Do we... Right, but enemy has to call perform attack, right? I see. Have to think about that a little bit. I'm not going to change it right now. But or do I want to? I think, oops. Damage source, that should match, I think. Right, so if we go back to the turret and look at that scene, it also has an attack. So this should be turret, maybe, as the damage source. Anyway, that has nothing to do at all with the point I was trying to make, which was that the sound effect should be hooked onto the attack. In the same way, oh, here we go. Like, in the same way, I can set this, and it will be different in these different circumstances. I can have something where I can provide a sound for a sound effect for the player attacking, or a zombie attacking, or the turret attacking, right? So we're gonna do that. And in fact, let me go ahead and let's make a to-do list. So add sound effect to the attack class. Sure. Do we have a sound bus? Okay, so we need to update the default bus layout to have separate. We want like a sound effects, a music, and maybe that's enough. I feel like there should be a third one, but I'm not thinking of what it is besides master. I don't know what the third one would be, but we can add music and sound effects to the main audio bus. Set grab some sound effects from where are we getting our all of our CC0 open game art? Yeah, open game art. Yeah, implement audio playback and the attack class, right? So we need to actually trigger the audio for that. And then the question is, so that's all one of those 3 bullet points on the issue was the sound effect. But for the cursor, we probably don't want the general attack node to change the player's mouse cursor when a zombie some state changes in the attack, right? So how do we handle this? Does the attack node have signals? Currently, no. Maybe it should. And then we could hook, excuse me. Then we could hook those signals to like our main script for now, because we don't have like a player script or something. We have a main script that handles less and less, let's say. So we could pursue that avenue. So like if we look at the attack script, is on cooldown, changes is that the thing? Is that the only thing that we care about? So let's go back to here. So we want a cursor indicator when we can hit and when we're recharging. So that's essentially when is on cooldown changes. cursor animation on hit. So when we hit, so right here, we want an event. Okay, so I guess here, hold on. Let's add hit and cooldown state change signals to attack class. Hook signals to main node script. Change mouse cursor based on signals. Right, so if we get excuse me, if we get the signal that says that we're on cooldown, we change the mouse cursor. When we're no longer on cooldown, we change it to the normal thing. When we get the signal that you've hit the zombie, I guess we briefly change the mouse cursor and then change it back, or maybe we play a sprite where the cursor is. Play a sprite. We display a sprite that, or something. We do something. I don't know. We do a thing. Do we? Well, let's unpack that a little bit. So the idea was, I wrote the words cursor animation on hit. What does that mean? Do I want that? Or do I want some kind of effect in the world when things take damage? Do I actually want to change the cursor when we hit the zombie? I feel like that might be... I don't think so. I think what I want is not that, but something that we were trying to do before that I kind of backed out on. Or not backed out on. I was just that happy with what had been... Like, I tried to have Copilot do some things, and it was like, this is one of the draft PRs. There was some interesting ideas in what was done here. I think I left some notes. Yeah, the effects didn't work, which is not surprising. I feel like kind of the visual stuff is like writing code, at least for Godot. Like, I've had some pretty good success with like Copilot writing like Tailwind UI code, where it generates like a nice looking UI. Although it didn't actually set up Tailwind successfully, but that once that was there, it was a nice looking UI. But it less so for like 3D effects, let's say. So there were some interesting ideas and kind of how this PR evolved, and I want to come back to this. But effectively, the idea is that we create a set of attack effects that can be attached to the attack node, and then when an attack happens, you get the effect, and then you can mix and match, is the idea. But we're not going to do that now. But I think the thing that I was trying to that I still want to do that, so I don't think I need something to like convey the idea of, oh, you hit the thing. We already have kind of the shaking thing, but we do probably want other effects when stuff hits stuff. Anyway, we're gonna do these things. And I think we figured out how to do these things, which is this list of stuff to do. And let's do them. Okay, so Just create a branch. You never know. I don't think this is going to even take half an hour to do these things. But, you know, something might come up. I won't need to put this down and look at something else. So I'll create a branch so that I can save my work as we go. All right, so add hit and cooldown state changes. So we don't need hit, right? We said we're not going to even do that. So we're going to add a thing. So here's a question. Do we want to have one signal with like a Boolean parameter, or do we want two signals? One that's like attack ready and the other one is attack on cooldown. What's the difference? If we have two signals, we have to write two functions. I don't know. I mean, I think it amounts to the same thing. Let's even not. Let's just do a thing. I'm gonna make two separate signals. So, do we want cooldown started and cooldown ended, or do we want? I don't know. I think that conveys the idea, right? If we had like an attack ready signal, I think that would be misleading unless that signal was sent when the game loaded. Whereas cooldown started and cooldown ended are explicitly about the cooldown that only starts after the first attack, which is what we're going to implement. Yes. So all of that is should happen in here, right? So when we start the cooldown, we say cooldown started dot emit. And when the cooldown ends, well, it can end in two ways. I don't know. Hold on. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that I didn't. Yeah. So I mean, what am I trying to say? So I saw this preview, and I knew that we just added cooldown ended. I couldn't remember 5 seconds ago before AI added the line whether it removed this line, and so I was confused momentarily. Anyway, what I was going to say though is that if we cancel the attack, we are no longer on cooldown. So we want to also emit cooldown ended here. If we stop the attack timer, that does not trigger the timeout, so this doesn't get called. So we do need to emit cooldown ended in both places. For the same reason we need to say is on cooldown false in both places. So the question is, why are we repeating ourselves? And so we don't need to call attack timer.stop in the timeout. That's unnecessary because I'm pretty sure the timeout is it's like a one-shot timer. But I don't know why we wouldn't want to clear the current target once the cooldown has happened. Generally, the behavior, like performing an attack, is a one-time thing. Do we need to clear the current target at all? What is the purpose of current target? Yeah, that is a good question. What is the purpose of current target? Right, this is essentially a member on this class, attack class. And we don't pass ourselves anywhere or do anything weird like that. We don't read current target in any of these places. Why does it exist? Great. is on cooldown, we need, because that's that controls the logic of this function. But yeah, I don't think we needed that. And then, so the thing I was thinking about is like, I'll make this clearer as well, right? So cancels the timer and then does the things that the timeout on the timer happening. Does the things the timer timing out would do, right? So why repeat ourselves? There we go. Just do that. Okay. Great. We did. Here, let's make this. We'll make this a checklist. Yeah. We did it. I don't need to save that. Okay, so now to hook the signals to the main script. What we want to do is we want some functions. On attack, cooldown started, pass. On ended, pass. And yeah, easy as that. And then we go to Godot and we go to the attack node and we hook up cooldown ended to main and we pick cooldown ended, connect, and then it switches to the editor, which if we weren't using an external editor that would be way less disruptive, but it's what it is. I wonder if there's a setting actually to change this behavior where it, hold on, editor settings, just a little side trip. When we connect a signal, what causes Godot to switch us to the editor? And this is interesting. It remembers last position. Yeah, this is something like I definitely could be doing, like one monitor Godot, another monitor VS Code. I don't think I've ever even tried to like stream multiple screens. So I have 4 monitors, by the way, which is very convenient because then I can have like Stream Manager up there, I can have Discord over there, and OBS there, and then you know the one screen that I stream off of over on this side. If I was doing more of this off stream, I might do that. Anyway, a tangent of a tangent. How do we? Is there a way to prevent it from switching to? I don't know. Text editor, theme, appearance, behavior. Open script when connecting signals to existing method. Yeah, there's an option. Yeah, all right. All right. Anyway, we connected the signals. Switch back to the editor. All right. Hook signals up to the thing. Change mouse cursor based on signals. So, how do you change the mouse cursor in Godot? I have no idea. Godot mouse cursor. Customizing the mouse cursor. All right. Docs reading time. You might want to change the appearance of the mouse cursor in your game in order to suit the overall design. There are 2 ways to customize the mouse cursor, using project settings or using a script. You could display a software mouse cursor by hiding the mouse cursor and moving a sprite 2D to the cursor position in a process method, but this will add at least 1 frame of latency compared to a hardware mouse cursor. Okay, good to know. Let's see. Project settings, script. I mean, we're we're doing a script because we need to change between two different things. But there is a project setting to set a custom image as the mouse cursor. And I think we would potentially need at least 3 mouse cursors. I'm doing like I'm 3 with my fingers, but it's not even in frame. Anyway, so 1 for like mouse cursor for UI stuff, which we could have a custom one for because why not? It's a game. 2, a mouse cursor for there's a zombie and I can click it, and 3 for on cooldown. I guess a thing I haven't. I think I've been assuming until now that we would have a mouse cursor that would always be there. Okay, well we'll play it by ear. Anyway, custom image using a script. Okay, so we can have images, and we can call input.set custom mouse cursor, and changes the specific shape of the cursor. Here, the I-beam shape. Changes only the arrow shape of the cursor. Okay, so probably just this. And you can, there are multiple mouse cursors you can find documented in input.cursor shaping them. Interesting. So this is if you want, like, by default, I'm sure Godot is going to change the mouse cursor based on, especially like think UI widgets. I don't think we would necessarily want to override these. Like if the vibe was, we're going to style the mouse cursor, have a style and it carries forward. You could have like literally it be a hand that's pointing or thing. So you could stylize it, right? Is the point. But a slight pun there that was unintentional, right? Mouse point. Anyway, so how do we do this? What do we do? How are we doing this? We are going to. So how do you change it? So if I wanted to set the custom mouse cursor to not be custom, it's okay. You just pass null. Okay, cool. Animated textures aren't supported as custom mouse cursors. Yes. Okay, so how are we gonna do this? How? Do we? Is it a texture 2D? What is the, it is a resource. It can be a texture 2D or an image. What's the difference? Image data type, image data. Okay. So what's the difference between this and a texture 2D? It registers image and video hardware. Okay. So what did they show in their example? Or was it not explicit? They just said load beam.png, right? Okay, let's say texture 2D. So in our signal, we can just say cooldown has started. If we have the image set, like AI has done it for us. But it was still good to read the docs to know that this isn't just BS that the AI is creating. You know, this actually looks right. Anyway, so sure. Now we need the image. And what image are we using? What should this image look like for you can't attack yet? Well, let's. So one thing I could do is be like, I could do some stuff in ChatGPT and like brainstorm something. But the other thing we could do. Oh, I'm not logged in. I will want to log in. So let me duplicate tab, pull this out, bring this to my other screen. Oh yeah. Is it that? Hey, all right, cool. So then if I reload this screen, I'm logged in. All right, cool. So, yeah, if we wanted to search for, cooldown. Not so great. So these look like animated kind of texture things, which makes sense. Let's filter out things, and we're going to be looking for CC0. And then maybe more conceptual. Weight. And this may not even be something that it's going to be like, I'm just going to use the thing here. I'm just looking for some inspiration right now, unless there's something that's like perfect. And I might be in one of these, like maybe something in here. Like question mark isn't the right feel for it. Maybe just literally an X. Something like this or this. Just kind of looking for something that feels conceptually right for the idea of you can't click right now because you just did. That's not like an hourglass. I don't want to use an hourglass because I feel like that's going to be like, oh, is the game having issues? Rather than, what is this? Abusive prison tile set. Okay, what's in here? No. No, I don't think so. What's in here? So maybe just an X. Hey, we've been here before. It's Kenny again. Like if we want to do like an animated sprite, so we wouldn't be able to do things the way we're doing it right now with using the setting the custom mouse cursor because it doesn't support animated sprites. So we'd have to do the other thing where we disable the cursor and we place a sprite 2D on the screen. And we could do that, but I'm not going to. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up a sprite. I'm just going to make a thing. Because why not? Should be quick and easy. We just need to do like, I don't know, is 32 by 32 good? Like literally, I just want a red X, I guess. Let's do... you know, not perfectly straight. Let's see, maybe like it's got a little bit of charm to it. Whatever. All All right, where are we putting this? I think this is all in documents, my repos. So many, well, not a lot of things, honestly. Just recent stuff. Tower defense, assets, icons. Is this an icon? Is it an icon or is it a texture? What's the difference? I'm gonna say this is redx.png. Okay, cool, we did it. Amazing. But anyway, so on our main script, we can we just like grab from the icon folder and drop it in? Have I ever done that before? Just like, hey, there it is. That looks right. And bloop. Okay. So is this just gonna work? If I run the program, we go find a zombie. I might have to tweak some things so that we actually have a chance to observe. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I think there's like a 2-second cooldown on the attacks. So, I mean, it does the thing. And that's really what I'm after. Polish is later. First, we make a thing that works, and then we make it pretty. So, add attack cooldown signals and update damage. No. What do we actually do here? I guess we did update. Here, hold on. Let's grab the things that we updated that are not at all related to. Yeah, so we updated basic turret and enemy and. So, does that mean we already updated the other one? Not basic turret, but can you? Is there a way to like? Yeah, show in file system, but show in. What is show in? Oh, cool. So when it says file system, it does mean the UI here. All right, cool. So, basic turret, but what about obstacle? Did we update? Oh, right, obstacle doesn't have an attack. That's why that's not updated. That makes sense. What about enemy then? Did we update? Yes. Okay. What else got changed here? And was it related? Okay, so that's related to our changes. That's related to the recent changes. That is okay. Cool. Great. So we'll commit that, and then we can commit. Add damage source property. And what do you mean? We didn't add a damage source property in any of these places, right? Oh, I see. So let's stage that one line. And then... Cool. And then... Add damage source property to attack. No, I didn't. Or did I? No. Okay, so I guess I'll write a message myself. Add cooldown cursor image for player attacks. Okay, so that is part of what we're trying to do. All right, so we did that. And now the rest of the owl. No. Sound effects for the attack class, add music sound effects to the main audio bus. Okay, so audio bus stuff. Let's go over here. This is really easy, right? We just add a bus, We're going to call it music. And we're going to add a bus, and we're going to call it sound effects. There we go. And we're going to call this main. You can't change the name? Apparently you can't change the name of it. Okay, well, the idea is that you can play sound on a bus, and that feed, like whatever sound is on this bus, then goes to the master bus, right? So you can have like different audio levels, and we did this in one of the other projects where we had like audio level controls in our settings UI. So yeah, and this is saved somewhere, right? Yeah, right there. Do we want it saved there? I don't know, but that's where it's saved. So, got it. Hey, how do I say your name? Alaimo? I don't know. How should I say your name? And also, welcome. Lumo? Okay. Lumotech? Well, welcome. What kind of game am I building? That is a good question. Essentially, it is a game that when I described to someone, a friend recently, they said, oh, one of those. It is a zombie-themed tower defense game where you have a set of survivors that you're trying to protect that are completely useless. They, at best, will slightly run away before giving up. Although we haven't built the running away part. You build walls and defenses and turrets and other things to defeat the oncoming horde of zombies in a set of progressively harder and maybe sillier levels, of which I have not built, and I only have this one kind of testing level. And this is one of my Godot practice projects, right? So we had a series of them. I've not actually shown the thing that I usually show on stream today, which is the Scalability of our progression of games from Pong to Breakout to Minesweeper to a simple platformer. And now we're doing this tower defense game that is tentatively based on some brainstorming and ChatGPT. I'm going to call it Zom Nom Defense. Now, is it going to become something that can live up to this awesome graphic? I don't know, but we're going to try. I do have some game ideas, such as Unbounded, which is a different game. This game that I eventually want to work on. But this has been a series of practice projects to get me back into the swing of doing game dev and learning about using Godot. Because prior to this year, I had never touched Godot. And only Unity just a little bit. So it's been a journey. How you doing? Have I done game dev before? I have done these kind of levels of like practice project, like kind of like dabbling. So not professionally, no. What kind of programming experience do I have? I learned C in the 90s. I have been working as a software engineer in some capacity since the early 2000s. And yes. So like it says on my Twitch profile, I have like 20 plus years of experience now, but not in the game dev scene. So mostly like web dev stuff, back end and front end. So PHP, Python, TypeScript, yeah, those sorts of things. And last year and the year before, I think, most of what I was streaming was not game dev stuff, but was doing web app stuff with Rust and TypeScript. So, unfortunately, Twitch wants to run some ads. You might already be there, but I will be right back in just a couple of minutes. I I take a break every hour to stretch my legs, and I'm gonna do that right now. I'll be back.